And welcome back to the Cover 3 podcast here on CBS Sports. That's Tom Fornelli. That's Danny Kanell. That's Bud Elliott. I'm Chip Patterson coming to you live at youtube.com/cover3 and everywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Thanks for hanging out. Smash that subscribe. Smash that like and come and join us in the chat, a.k.a. the Cover 3 tailgate, where, to be honest, whenever you're getting this, we heard your requests. They were disrespectful, okay? They were disrespectful to the Oregon Ducks. They were disrespectful to Dan Lanning because the first request to get started came in early second quarter, okay? That is absurd. That is patently absurd, but there's a huge audience here in the tailgate, so we wanted to obviously come and get the conversation started. As I am looking at it right now, 49-15, Indiana lead with about 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Indiana well on its way to cementing its 15th win of the season and securing a spot in the college football playoff national championship where they will play against the Miami Hurricanes. Lots to get to here. We will go in again, just sort of like what happened at the beginning of this game to give the Hoosiers such a stark advantage. Now, also sort of bigger picture, looking at Indiana's path to get here. And by the time we get out, a way too early preview of that national championship game set for January 19th in Hard Rock Stadium, the Miami Hurricanes becoming the first team in the BCS CFP era to play a national championship game in the same stadium where you play your home games. Tom Fornelli, at what point was it night for the Ducks?
When Dante Moore threw a pick six on the first snap of the game.
No.
Yeah.
They had a good response. They had a good response on that touchdown drive.
They did. And then what did they do immediately?
Are you talking about the RPO that ends up hitting De'Aaron Hill's shoulder? DK?
That was when it was over.
That. No, it's not even that. It's just that Indiana then immediately responded by marching down the field and getting a touchdown, then taking the lead right back. And then the fumble came. No, I would say, officially probably that fumble on the RPO that ended up making it a 21-7 game, because like Indiana is pretty good. I don't know if you guys have noticed, and they're not really a team you can gift 2 touchdowns to in the first quarter and feel good about your chances to win that football game. And I think that, we are now officially calling it here on the Cover 3 podcast. Indiana is your Fiesta Bowl champion.
You mean the Peach Bowl champion?
Sorry, Peach Bowl. Whatever. It doesn't really matter.
I thought you were going to say you're national champion.
Yeah, I know.
No. I'm not going that far.
The same way that when you ran the simulations to tell me Indiana and Ohio State were the only teams that were going to play for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
DK, what'd you see?
I mean, the game might have been over when the injury report started to come out before the game. Noah Whittington's banged up. I mean, Oregon, the injuries started to mount up. I thought they would get healthier in the postseason. Instead, it started to go the other way. And it was about the worst case news you could get when I had heard the flu was going around. So I thought maybe it was that.
So is what the broadcast is saying.
Well, then they had him in his ankle thing. They were kept talking about his lower leg injury was. And they're, bringing defensive players over to play running backs like, I think Oregon would have had their best game of the year, and they probably played one of their worst. So it was like that's the recipe for a blowout. I thought it was interesting because I did think Dante Moore bounced back, and you're like, could we get a little bit more of a shootout type feel? But it just ended pretty quickly when Oregon went up. Those, what was that? 21 points? Was that 28-7 after the?
It was 21-7 after the fumble.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, it was like you still could come. Well, then when they couldn't protect Dante anymore, it was like they just became a throwing team, and it was like pin your ears back and go get them, boys. And that's when it felt like it was over.
Yeah, I agree with the fumble. I mean, it would have taken a really good effort to beat them tonight with like how well they executed on offense. I mean, Mendoza was, I think, like perfectly on target on every throw of the first half. They were 4 for 4 in contested catch opportunities in the first half. Like really nice catch, like perfect execution. Oregon was beating them on lines of scrimmage for like a decent part of the first half, and they were losing. I was like, they're in trouble because Indiana is probably going to make some adjustments to get pressure, right? Like that touchdown drive Oregon scored. I know it's on script, so as our friend Parker says, nice. Now let me see the unscripted drives, right? But like they did a really good job of handling all the Indiana pressure, early and drove down the field. And even on the next drive, like they had pretty good opportunities and weren't getting pressured very much. Then you have the unforced error of that fumble. But I mean, offensively, Indiana was just so good with it. Like Mendoza was just crazy good tonight. I mean, that was amazing. And the receivers, even when like he wasn't hitting guys open, like they were open enough, he put it like perfectly in place where they could catch it, even though Oregon like covered. Oregon didn't have like a whole lot of coverage busts. Oregon kind of made them earn this thing. And Mendoza's like, all right, I'll go earn it. Watch this, right? I'm about to earn a lot of dollars in this draft and go 1-1. And
defense, Mendoza fact?
Yeah.
I mean, the game's still going on, but through 2 playoff games, Fernando Mendoza has 8 touchdown passes and 5 incompletions.
Yeah, it's crazy. Also,
against Alabama and Oregon. That's the other piece. I mean, I know like this is going to bleed from like micro game breakdown to more macro. What in the world are we watching? But it's just every single monster we put in front of this team. It is remarkable what they have done here.
It's crazy how prepared they are, man. Like they just don't make any mistakes. They make you like they kill you anytime you make a mistake. I mean, on the opening play of the game, like you hear that kind of like the saying, "Oh, he ran his route for him." I mean, he's watching Dante Moore, and he breaks before the receiver breaks. Like literally, I'm like, okay, wow, that was pretty impressive. They're really well prepared, and a super veteran team, and you pair it with like the number 1 overall pick at quarterback and receivers who are making plays. Like they're really like they just execute so well. It's so clean operationally.
So here's a thing. I'm going to need my ball knowers here to be able to help me out. It seems to me, dummy, that the fact that they don't over rotate and have a lot of sub packages probably allows them to be able to just lean on the understanding and the execution of the guys that are in there, right? I mean, they don't trot out a lot of different looks. They trust their linebackers and safeties. They trust everybody who's out there. I mean, I know they rotate the defensive line a little bit, but especially when it comes to the back of that defense, it looks to me like one big strength that allows them to get through that is the fact that they can trust these old, experienced players that even if they don't have the height, weight, size, speed of the opponent, they've still been able to go out there and make the right play.
Not to interrupt, are they seriously running Fernando Mendoza out there again up 35 with 8 minutes left?
Yeah, they don't stop.
They just threw.
Yeah, but
they're
like
throwing the ball.
They don't stop.
I mean, man.
Do you pay attention to Locke's episodes?
Knock on wood. Yeah, I know, but like
smoke it through the filter, bud.
They ran him when they were up 4 touchdowns with 10 minutes left.
Wait, hold on. Are you seeing 16 instead of 15?
No, it's Fernando. Fernando is still in there.
Yeah, that's Fernando.
Man, I hope he says all that because like that's going to be an interesting game to watch there in Miami.
Listen, they're not just trying to beat you; they try to destroy you. They want you to be
break your will
forever.
They're destroyed. Like at this point,
this is for Miami right now.
Just
I want Miami to watch this and just be terrified. That's exactly what they are doing right now.
Remarkable.
I wouldn't do this. But okay,
we'll see if they throw it more because I did just see Fernando in the huddle give him like the 4-minute chat. He's like, slow down. We're going to wait to snap this. You're ahead of me.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Deep shots. Is that what I'm about to see here?
No. Deep shots.
Nice little run.
I don't think they'll throw. I don't think they shouldn't throw anymore. If he hands off, I'm fine with it. But my goodness.
This is when I want to remind people that Illinois was down 6 players in their secondary. So, how many is Oregon down?
I had hey, listen, that one of my favorite notes about these Indiana Hoosiers, now with this win, they have 5 wins against teams that were ranked at the top 10 at the time of the game. And ranked in the top 10 at the time of the game is doing a lot of work right there. Shout out to Illinois, number 9 at the time of that game.
Did you see that D'Angelo Pons' dad is named Angelo Pons?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
His older brothers are named Bangelo and Cangelo.
Oh my gosh. Dude, this is wild.
the halftime score against Ohio State. Does anybody remember it?
For Oregon, it was
Uh-huh.
34-8, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this one was 35-7.
And this is the second playoff rematch that Dan Lanning has had. And it's the second time his team has gotten its ass kicked. And while it wasn't quite the same in 2023, he also lost the rematch to Washington in the Pac-12 championship game. There was a final of 3 points, but I'm pretty sure they were down 10 in the fourth quarter and scored late to make it look closer. So, yeah, when it comes to rematches, Curt Cignetti, what was he saying all week? It's really tough to beat a great team twice. I don't think Curt believed that. I think that Curt believed Oregon was pretty easy to beat twice because most teams have done it when they've had the chance.
So is this just part of the Oregon fan lore now, or do you think that we can actually put like a cold, like Oregon's got a rematch problem?
I think Oregon has a rematch problem.
Oh.
Now, I will say the only two teams they've lost to in 2 years are the national champion Buckeyes and the team that's about to be favored by 2 scores.
What's Oregon's goal?
Right, but there is something to be said for not losing to teams you shouldn't be losing to.
Yeah, no. But you're also power rating wise, you're the third best team in the country.
Yeah,
and you're getting the shit beat out of you by these teams. You're not just losing to them; you're getting destroyed. And touchdown Indiana. Again, they do not stop. They do not care.
Yeah. All right, now Mendoza gave his helmet to somebody.
They got their 50 burger. That's what they wanted.
There you go.
This is what they do.
Incredible stuff.
It's unreal to watch these guys this year. It's kind of unbelievable.
So we'll be doing the way too early preview coming up in just a little bit. But do you, at the risk of, we mostly got Hoosiers in the chat at this point, I'm sure. I mean, don't you kind of want them to finish the job at this point?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay. Like uninvested, but you do.
What is going to be interesting is, did you hear him say it was, and it does, I mean, 90% Hoosier fans, or what? Poor Oregon, man. They got, I don't know. It's just tough for them to travel across the country. There was nobody at the Big Ten championship game last year in Indianapolis. There wasn't anybody in Miami. There was a handful of fans for the Orange Bowl. There's nobody here. Indiana is going to have a hard time getting tickets. Do you see the ticket prices there to Miami?
Danny, just wait. There might be more of them in Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll travel.
And
it's going to be expensive.
How do you know that they weren't the ones also driving the ticket price?
It could be. Yeah.
I pointed this out. There are 800,000 Indiana alumni in this country. There are 200,000 in Miami. They are outnumbered 4-1. Do not be surprised if there are more Indiana fans at the title game than there are Miami fans.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going back to it because I liked the way when Bud pointed it out. I just realized that in the same way, and there's going to be, I don't know, maybe dozens of people who hear this and it connects, in the same way that every ECU fan in Sanford, North Carolina swears they were all at the Peach Bowl New Year's Eve against NC State. Like, Indiana fans are going to talk about this for a generation, you know, and like, hopefully Curt Cignetti does keep winning and winning and winning, but like, there is like long lasting change that is happening right now because of this Indiana football program and this run and Indiana packing out the big body Benz in Atlanta. Like, this is generational type shifts that are happening right now with this football program.
Who wrote he's having the Saban impact. Look at what Saban did to Alabama and the popularity and enrollment. I mean, there was a piece out, I forget who did it. Was it Dellinger or somebody had the piece up about his new deal, how much he's making, but then it like had a whole long tweet about how much enrollment has increased and, you know, and tuition's going up and ticket sales are going up. Like, all of a sudden Indiana is kind of a football school, which is crazy. It's an everything school. We know.
Is it?
No, they had Kyle Schwarber for baseball.
No, yeah. Listen, and Matt Snyder.
Yeah.
So if Nebraska beats Indiana in basketball tomorrow, that's the full trade-off. That's the full trade.
Are they playing tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh wow, that is
in Bloomington, Tom.
Put it all on Nebraska. Put it all on the Huskers. We have swapped places.
Yeah, if Nebraska improves to what, like 16-0 or whatever it is in basketball to start the year by beating Indiana after Indiana puts a 50 burger in the college football playoff semifinals, that is the full transition of Juju right there.
Nebraska
Congratulations.
by $1 billion.
Yeah, Nebraska football. Look, get ready to learn Pinstripe Bowl, buddy.
All right, this game is over, but Indiana defense, let's not let go of the rope here. We've got a team total lock to win.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Anything else from the game itself that stood out that you want to make sure we draw attention to?
Dear.
The reason I took the team total under in this game was, as I said on the show, anytime Oregon's played a good defense this year, they have struggled mightily to put points on the board. And they are struggling mightily to put points on the board here today. Now, I don't think that Dante Moore has played nearly as poorly in those other games as he has here tonight, but I don't think Dante Moore has done himself a whole hell of a lot of favors tonight. I don't think he's looked good. I think that particularly in the pocket, which has been my one concern with him all night, he's had trouble seeing the field. Indiana's dropped into coverage quite a few times, and Dante's just stood there staring at him. And that was the one case that happened in the first game. I wrote about it this week. He was getting, as far as time to throw before he was pressured in the first meeting, there was nothing out of the ordinary. But he was holding on to the ball longer in that game than he held in any other game because he just couldn't figure it out post-snap. And that has been the case here again tonight. And this is going to be something when we talk about these two as like the top 2 NFL draft picks. NFL teams are going to be watching this tape, and it's going to be pretty clear to them who the number 1 guy is.
Oh, yeah.
Debo put in the chat, Fernando Mendoza is now minus 600 to go first quarterback overall.
That's cheap.
I'm agree with and I thought it was a really good comp when it was talking about CJ Stroud and how Dante Moore needed that type of performance. I think that's what he needed, and he got as far from that as you could possibly get. So now he's CJ Stroud without that game, and before that game, CJ Stroud, everyone's like, I don't know. Like, he hasn't played that great this year, and that's kind of what it is for Dante Moore.
So y'all help me out here because I'm not as fluent in the NFL draft of the does he come back because of this?
I don't think so. No, I mean he might come back. I don't think that
he's still going to get a first round
tank
grade.
His stock. Yeah, he's probably still the second quarterback taken, maybe the third, but it's just he's not going to be the top pick.
Is it impacted at all by Trinidad Chambliss getting denied a waiver?
No. Okay. Trinidad's going to get drafted, but Trinidad, I mean, you know what? Somebody might take him in the first round, but Trinidad is not a first round NFL draft pick, in my estimation.
Agreed.
And Dante Moore still should check every box to get a first round.
Most boxes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's still 20 years old.
Yeah, that's insane.
So he's a baby.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Coming up on the other side, we take a look ahead to January 19th, where it will be Indiana and Miami for the College Football Playoff National Championship. We'll get into storylines, matchups to watch, and more next.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ, streaming free anywhere you are.
Back here on the Cover 3 podcast as the final minutes are ticking down in Atlanta from the Peach Bowl semifinal, where Indiana is closing out a dominant win against the Oregon Ducks. They're second against the Ducks here in this season to improve to 15-0 and be able to cement one spot in the national championship game. Their opponent, of course, will be the Miami Hurricanes, who outlasted Ole Miss in that thriller on Thursday night in the Fiesta Bowl. We have, everything about Miami, even coming out of that game, the first time that they're going to be playing in Hard Rock Stadium since the middle of November. This has been a heck of a run. 5 straight wins away from home. Many of them before Ole Miss by double digits. Texas A&M obviously not as well. Danny, let's start from the Miami side of this. What are going to be the biggest keys for Miami to be able to provide more resistance than Oregon or Alabama have been able to provide to the Indiana Hoosiers so far in this CFP.
I mean, the thing about it to me is Miami has a very clear identity of what they want to be. It's just a matter of can they do that against Indiana? You know, they want to run the football. They want to establish both lines of scrimmage, and they want to wreak havoc on the quarterback with those edges. And that to me is the same thing they'll try to do against Indiana. I don't think they'll try to change anything they do. The question is, can they do that against Indiana?
There are some matchups I like for Miami here, and then some that I really don't. Indiana gets a lot of pressure and free runners at the quarterback via a lot of the like stunts and movement that they do. Miami is huge up front, and they have really tight splits. You don't see much penetration tackle to tackle with Miami. Like they're not foot to foot, but they're close, and it's a lot of just kind of like wall surge type stuff. And I am curious how Indiana wants to combat that. And there are certainly ways, like how much pressure does Indiana get off the edge, or are they cutting some of these runs down from the backside? Do they just commit so many like bodies to it that it doesn't matter? Like, I think if you listen to the broadcast comments, Oregon clearly thought they could run the ball against Indiana tonight, and they really got game stated out of it by being down so fast that they were getting some movement running the ball like pretty well. And I was watching, it's like, well, I have no idea how they're going to stop Mendoza with him playing like this. They are able to run the ball a little bit. If they keep this close, that should remain a constant. So I would not be shocked if Miami is able to run the ball some on Indiana, if they can make Indiana honor the passing game enough, which I think Dawson's done a good job of some of your constraint plays, some of your screen stuff, some of your outside stuff. And they've had some receivers start to make some plays one-on-one on the outside with Marion and Daniels some as well, in addition to obviously Tony. But man, like, do you trust that passing game enough to make Indiana play it honest? I don't know. Maybe, but like Mendoza's playing so well right now. Like you're probably going to need high 20s to win. Like if you have a shot to win.
I'm not ruling Miami out because Miami is so good along the lines of scrimmage that I do think that they're one of the few teams that could deal with Indiana. And we will see, like, it's going to be a battle of middle-aged men all night long along the lines of scrimmage between both of these teams. But, like, we're looking at Dante Moore tonight in a very chaotic pocket, crap in his pants. Carson Beck in a chaotic pocket. We've seen that before. It's going to come down to how well Miami can protect him. And we saw against Ole Miss, he was sacked, 3 or 4 times in that game? And Ole Miss does not have a tremendous pass rush. Indiana is a very good team at disguising stuff before the snap and showing it late. Oh, God, come on. Anyways, that is such – come on, Indiana. Hold on to the rope. But
held onto his face mask.
But that, like, Ole Miss didn't really blitz a whole lot in that game. They were rushing 3 a lot of the time, and they were still able to get pressure on Beck. Yeah. Indiana's blitzing, and they get pressure on Beck. It could lead to some problems. But I do agree with you. I think Miami will be able to run the ball, and I think Miami's going to have to lean into running the ball in this game. It's going to be a similar situation, I think, to what we saw last night. Miami's going to want to control the clock and control time of possession and just kind of try to wear this team out because, like, they are good, but they're also old and they're not that deep. So, you want to wear those old guys down.
What has to happen for Indiana?
Play your game.
Yeah.
Seriously, is that easy?
It's not that easy.
You got to keep executing at a really high level. Like if you're Miami staff, you're watching this, you're saying, all right, well, if they go 5 of 5 of contested catch opportunities. So like they're literally coming down with it every time, even when we're like all over them, then we're cooked. But you need some of those to not get caught. And there's no guarantee that they catch all those, right? So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that is like that's something that like if you play even this game again, there's no guarantee they catch all those again, right? Like can Mendoza be off a little bit? In the playoffs so far, not at all.
Right.
He missed those against Ohio State. They pressured him. I mean, they've seen it before, I guess. Before the game got out of hand, Oregon was getting home against both tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, like think about the play Mendoza fumbled, recovered it, and then got sacked anyway. The prior play,
I don't know if it was Hemby or Black, but he completely whiffed on his block that play.
yeah, and the prior play, like that whole drive, they were getting pressure on. It's like, oh, okay. But I think that speaks to how good Indiana is, that you're like looking for like micro cracks in the armor.
Right.
One thing that does interest me is like Elijah Surratt is like the Mozart of sideline back shoulder grabs.
Yeah.
But like Miami's corners are big. And it'll be interesting to see how they're able to kind of stack up with what Indiana has at receiver.
One of them's out for a half.
Yeah, and that will matter.
Because Indiana's, they like to start fast. They've been, they'll come out firing. You don't want. You can see what happens when it gets out of hand. That's gonna be something to keep an eye on. And I guarantee you, they're going to go after the freshman.
Is he like 6'2" too, though?
He probably.
Every single Miami defensive back is like at least 6'2".
Let's go.
Probably.
I
think the one thing I do think, if those edge rushers can do what they've done throughout the playoffs, they can make Fernando Mendoza look human. That's what a pass rush will do. I know he's mobile. I know he can get around, but
pretty pathetic of Dan Lanning and this crew just not accepting their demise and trying to run it up here late. Just absolutely disgusting behavior by the Oregon Ducks. Sickens me.
They're not going for 2, right?
Please go for 2. I want to see this lock fight come down to going for 2 at the fake it.
Here we go.
Well, the good news is I got the Twitter tip at 22.5.
Let's go.
There you go.
All right. Oh man, so mad. Everybody wrote their favorite story about the Cignetti face. Now giving up a touchdown with 22 seconds left. It's going to bring about some good Cignetti face.
Here's my question for you. Like, let's assume Indiana does end up winning the national title this year, or even if they lose, but then they're still great next year. How long until everybody gets tired of this team?
Next year.
Like, how long until the Cignetti face is no longer cute?
For week 4.
And and then it becomes, God, what's this guy's freaking deal?
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, it's already going to happen, and it's going to happen in the Southeastern Conference. That's what they're going to be sick of, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to be sick of being told, "Hey, do you know what the conversation? You ready for this one? Is Curt Cignetti the best coach in college football right now?"
Yeah.
So on a coach rankings ballot, you're putting him ahead of Kirby Smart
easily. Look at these players. Yes, they have the best quarterback in the country.
So you're going to put your name to it. No, not just on the Cover 3 podcast.
But for sure.
Out the coach rankings ballot, right?
Chip,
I get tired when we get all this pushback from people who don't vote, because there's a lot of people who want to talk about. Oh,
I do vote in this. Some of that stuff I don't vote in. I vote in this. I'm on that episode.
Do this. How's the CBS award going to do this? Well, you got an opportunity. You could vote. Danny cooked my ass on CBS Sports HQ, and I was like, Danny, you could have voted.
Debo did say, and then all of a sudden it came out when I forget who started it, but was like, Raiders have a coaching opening. They have the number 1 pick. They could pair up Cignetti and Mendoza, and bring Cignetti to the NFL. I don't know. I don't think it's about the money for Cignetti. He's making so much. Like, what's the difference in 12.5 and 15 or 12? It's a lot of money. I don't know. If he wanted to go to the NFL, I think it'd be great, but I don't know what his goals are, but I picture him as pretty good setup right now, and let's chase multiple championships in Indiana.
I have to imagine that seeing the places that he's seen, leaving the setup that he is in right now would be a very like it would almost not be showing gratitude to the situation that you have. I mean, the checks continue to be cut. You've got no problem replenishing your roster. I mean, it is just it will happen. He might consider an exit when the standard starts to slip, But as of right now, everything we can tell from the coaching staff to the roster, standard ain't slipping. So, yeah, I don't think that I would be stunned if Curt Cignetti walked it off to the NFL. That would surprise me a lot.
Me too.
I don't know enough about what he wants to do to like say I would be stunned or not.
I've heard him make reference to like I'm here, you know. So, I mean,
a lot of coaches too. They do have a couple, maybe they were a spot or two. I mean, these resumes, they've hopped to 15 different spots. Typically, an NFL guy might have one or two when he was younger in his career. Cignetti has none, right? He's always been college.
He's 64 years old.
I mean, that's why I think it's either now or never. Like you jump now or you don't. Like it's here.
Yeah, 64 years old with no NFL experience. It's been at Division II. It's been at the FCS. It's been in the Sun Belt. It's now in the Big Ten. Like this, he's a college football coach. He's got an incredible setup. He is the king of Bloomington, Indiana. And
man, he rocks the 3/4 zip windbreaker short sleeve with no shirt underneath better than anybody I've ever seen.
Man, yeah.
You know, just
that
no
is an old guy
underneath,
move, though.
Just
yes, that's an old guy move for sure.
Totally. Is there a wife beater on under there, or is it just
man?
Is it just skin? Like it's just nothing. Because it was cold at one of those games. It looked cold, and he's just there. Because I remember seeing he had the same outfit on. We talked to him the morning of the Big Ten championship game. He just comes out in that.
Well, when I saw him in the suit, I was like, "This is strange." Like I didn't recognize him at first.
Yeah.
When you said he rocked it better than everybody, that is not a high bar to clear, you know, in terms of how good everybody else looks in the short sleeve windbreaker with no shirt underneath.
I don't know how many guys try to do that. It is a coaching move, though.
Like,
I don't have time to go home and put on a t-shirt under here.
Yeah.
Sig said, "I'm not really thinking about the next game. I'm thinking about cracking a beer in the post game." According to Devo.
Wow. Letting loose. He's a little
Just
too
that
lax.
confident. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because everybody was questioning him at this media availability about whether he smiles at all. And he's like,
He
normally
he smiled at the Rose Bowl podium like a lot.
He was like, normally, you know, when I get with my coaches, we'll have a beer, you know, then I'll enjoy it. He goes, but these college football playoff games, they got 10 to 15 press conferences to go to after every one of them. So
gotta watch that beer in the office, though. I mean, Ohio fired a guy over that. Remember, that was allegedly the reason for a couple of hours.
No, Bud, as we addressed in an extensive mea culpa, there was more that we did not understand at the time that we made lighthearted references to a situation that did eventually become much more significant.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so if Curt Cignetti's the best coach in college football, I guess that's a coaching edge for Indiana in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Health edge, Indiana too. I mean, I still saw that defensive line get pressure, and all we've talked about is all the different times that we should downgrade their defensive front.
Yeah.
I mean,
they bust your protections pretty well.
I would take Miami's defensive ends over Indiana's.
Yeah.
You would take Miami's roster almost up and down over Indiana's. That's why I think Cignetti's the best coach in college football. Like what they're doing is unbelievable.
What'd you say, Tom?
I asked if Stephen Daly was holding the Indiana defense back, like by hogging all those tackles for loss. Was he keeping his teammates from making plays?
Yeah.
God, Bud.
Yeah.
How's this looking for the blue chip ratio? I just saw a stat.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
55 4 and 5 stars on Oregon's rosters, only 8 on Indiana's.
And
that's
honestly,
that's where I think
if I put their transfer ratings in, they drop.
Right. Which
is wild.
So that is where I've always favored, you guys know this, as long as I've been on here, I've always we do coach of the years. I'm always trying to give when Pat Fitzgerald was at Northwestern, when what's his name was at Duke, Cutcliffe. It was I always had it those guys maximize so much of what they get with their players. But it was always you're throwing homage to them and you're paying homage to what they're doing. They never did this. And I know it's a different era, but and they are paying for players, but it's still pretty remarkable to do it with this cast of characters and going against all these teams throughout Ohio State's roster, which might be the most stacked in all of college football. It is so impressive. That to me is where I'd have no problem whatsoever saying Curt Cignetti is the best coach in college football.
I mean, they're coaching circles around everybody. If you're not voting him number one, I think that's like drug test. Like, look at these results.
Should Indiana be drug tested? This is what the fans of teams who have lost to them the last few weeks will be asking people.
The offseason, and certainly the offseason will provide time, and January 19th will provide an exclamation point one way or the other. But if somebody fills out their coach ballot and they decide that Kirby Smart and an equally impressive collection of wins, winning percentage, and 2 national championships is worth being number one on their ballot, I'm not going to tell them that they're dumb.
Yeah. Are one of you planning to do that?
I hadn't thought of it. We don't have it. It's an incomplete data set.
That's fair.
You know,
we all have to vote.
If they lose by 30 next week, I'm voting Mario number one.
Yeah, Mario. What about what Mario has done? Huh?
Mario might win a national title before he wins the ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think like getting a bunch of really experienced, like good college players is obviously a much more viable strategy now that the talent is spread out in the sport so much, especially if you pair it with the number one overall quarterback. Like last year, Indiana was a good team that had a real favorable schedule, and without this, kind of quarterback, like Notre Dame stomped them out, right? Ohio State stomped them. This year, they're like way better. I think most of that is Mendoza. They're a little bit better on the offensive line, but like him making some of these throws and just never making any mistakes is nuts. They're just like, they're like playing the computer.
It's impressive stuff.
Just so prepared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number one team in the country. They have been the team that just has outplayed everybody at almost every turn. Iowa thought they had him. Penn State thought they had him. They wiggled out. And then against even more dangerous teams, they've looked even better. The narrow margins of the Big Ten championship might be a fun revisit and a fun rewatch as we prepare for the national championship. That was just 13-10 and a game that kind of required Mendoza to sweat a little. That was also a great game for Indiana's defense, which continues to show up here. They give up the late touchdown that Bud's very happy about but for 3.5 quarters, for almost every snap, Indiana's defense won against Oregon's offense. And that's just continue like that. That's not just you've got the number one quarterback. That is a group that is well prepared, dialed in, and executing at the highest level. So I'm very interested to see where this goes so far. We do have, I believe, a point spread here. We'll offer our official picks much closer once everybody has time to, crunch the numbers, grind the tape, and things of that nature. But at 7.5, we laying it, or would you go Miami? What do we do?
We were asked in Slack earlier this evening for our picks ahead of time if we knew what they were, and I told them as long as the spread's under 10, I'll take Indiana.
Look ahead was 5.5. The nature of the game has driven this up above because Bud, we might have talked about it, right? The idea is like, 5.5. If Indiana wins, it'll probably jump out to 6.5 or 7.
Yeah.
Man, this thing might touch 8.
Yeah, it might.
What's your lean?
I mean, I think if you look at it, that feels a little inflated. But India might just be team of destiny, right?
Let's see.
I almost feel like you take Indiana alt line and Miami money line.
Yeah.
I mean, SP Plus has Indiana as 10.1 points better than Miami on a neutral field, but this is not a neutral field technically. So it depends on what kind of home field advantage you want to give Miami in the title game, according to SP Plus.
It's probably like 1.
Yeah.
I think that crowd's going to be pretty even.
FPI has Indiana as only 8.3 points better.
I would go over under 48.5. I might lean over with all the way that the defensive bodies continue to just start dropping left and right. Tired legs.
I think I would go under.
Ooh. I don't know. We'll see.
We got what? 10 days?
Mhm.
10
Did you know
days.
today Friday?
No, I did not.
I actually did. Yeah.
This is 2 Fridays in a row where I've been completely caught off guard by the fact that it was Friday.
Yeah.
This time of year just completely it wreaks havoc.
When does the time change again? It's a
In
couple weeks, right?
March?
Oh, March.
This weekend, actually. Yeah.
All right, so 6
make
weeks.
sure to
Okay.
set the clocks forward. Yeah.
I'm just tired of it getting dark at 6 o'clock.
Good.
Well,
Ask
thanks.
Tom what time it gets dark up there.
Let's see. What time did it get?
4 o'clock.
We're getting a little more daylight. Now that we're past the solstice there,
Yeah.
it's not as bad as it was. But let's see. Sunset tomorrow. Oh, why the hell are you taking so long to load now? Anytime I need. Yeah, sunset was at 4:40. So, lots of daylight.
Yeah.
Bro.
I am curious to see. We're going to make a big deal out of the home field advantage for Miami. That's going to be a lot of. I mean, I don't know. Like Danny, you could maybe speak to this. I feel like that's going to be a lot to handle for 10 days. Yeah. I'm not going to declare home field disadvantage, but it might be one of those games that you almost wish it was away. You almost wish that you got to pack up the whole program, take them to the hotel, and have a barrier for entry for what it's going to take for them to be distracted.
Yeah.
We'll see. Immense challenge, I would imagine, for that whole program to try and replicate whatever you've done in the preparation process, but all in your backyard when the whole city is going to be on fire.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot. Did I see Nevin Shapiro on the sideline last night?
Probably.
I think he got out of jail recently. I think that somebody was like pointed out somebody did it.
He's had a podcast, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did talk to him a week ago in person. I did ask him if he was going to or if he was at the Cotton Bowl, and he said his parole officer was on vacation, so he couldn't go.
Who was the athletic director at the time? What was her name? I can't remember.
Donna Salela?
Yeah.
Have you seen Donna?
No, she was the president.
She was the university.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have we seen Donna? I mean, I feel like if Nevin's there, him and Donna should be hanging out.
Was
Was
the president Hokut?
Kirby Hocutt.
Kirby Hocutt
Kirby
might have been the
yeah.
AD.
Yeah. Because it was Kirby Hocutt, then Blake James, then Dan Radakovich
Yeah.
for your Miami AD succession line.
And Paul D before that, or was there a guy between Paul D and Hokut?
I just remember Paul D was the one who got all high and mighty about Reggie Bush on the committee on infractions.
Over under on number of retired porn stars at the game. Half.
Over.
Over.
Well,
It's in
way over.
Bud's taking the alt line.
Yeah, that's an alt-line smash.
Well,
No pun intended.
what is the definition of star?
Well, if everybody knows her name, that's probably counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everybody that was lying to everybody that they were watching the game with. Like, I don't know who that is. Why do they keep
Never seen
showing
her
it?"
before in my
Mystery
life.
person.
Never seen her
Because
before
I've
in
never
my
seen
life.
it.
Yeah.
Bunch of liars. I heard that. All right. We will, as you can imagine, be continuing our look ahead to the national championship game, more on what it means for Indiana as a program, as a school, but also getting inside the nitty-gritty of the matchup for Indiana and Miami in the national championship game, January 19th, Hard Rock Stadium. And you can follow him on Twitter at Tom Fornelli. You can follow him at Danny Kanell. You can follow him at Bud Elliott 3. Follow me at Chip _Patterson. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
See ya.